Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Thursday, February 4th, 2016, around 7:05 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. Another warm day, starting off in the mid-50s. Very unusual for this time of year. Gonna be in the 50s all day with clouds and some rain showers and some peaks of sun. Tomorrow, a cold front could dump anywhere from a colding to several inches of snow in southeastern New England. Depends on the track of the storm. Billerica, Massachusetts, it's slated to get a colding to an inch, but it's subject to change. And Tuesday's storm looks very, very interesting. Maybe we'll be in a snowy pattern, but then again, maybe not. Some news to report: Boston Celtics beat Detroit Pistons by a score of 102-95 last night. The Celtics are now tied for the third seed in the Eastern Conference. Also, the Virginia men's basketball team beat BC's Eagles by a score of 61-47 last night. The BC has not won a conference game this year. UMass Lowell Riverhawks men's basketball team beat Harvard by a score of 87-85. Today is World Cancer Day. I'm praying one of these days all cancers are cured 100%. 9 years ago today, Peyton Manning won his first and only Super Bowl to date. 12 years ago today, Facebook was created. And sad news to report, in the world of Hollywood, actor, comedian Joe Alasky passed away at the age of 63. Joe was known for being the new voice of Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny and other Looney Tunes characters, so prayers to his family. That's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is a continuation of the top 10 list of everything and anything. I've now reached the top 10 greatest big men in professional wrestling history. The big men were like giants among men, and they got big pushes. WWE owner Vince McMahon has kind of a fetish on pushing wrestlers who are big, just like I have like kind of a little bit of a fetish of cute leggy blondes. But here they are. Here's the top 10 greatest big men in professional wrestling history. Number 10 on this list is Giant Baba, who owned All Japan Wrestling and former two-time NWA World Champion. He was a legend in Japan. Number 9 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, El Gigante, or Giant Gonzalez. He was a sloppy worker, but he was known for being 7'7" tall, played basketball, was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, but he had knee problems. And when Ted Turner bought WCW, he thought El Gigante, Giant Gonzalez, would be the second coming of Andre the Giant, but he wasn't. But El Gigante was famous when he said to feud with Ric Flair, "I want the belt, I want your belt." Number 8 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, WWE Hall of Famer Big Daddy Cool, Diesel / Kevin Nash, Big Sexy. Kevin Nash had like a lot of forgettable gimmicks before going to the WWE as Diesel, winning the Triple Crown, WWE IC Championship, WWE World Tag Team Championship, and WWE title within a 1-year period in 1994. When he went to the WCW, he formed the NWO, and he was a booker there as well. So he comes in at number 8. Number 7 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, the man that rules the world, Psycho Sid Vicious. Sid was a regional star in Memphis before coming to WCW as one of the members of the Skyscrapers and one of the Four Horsemen. Then he went to the WWE as Sid Justice, and then back to WCW, and then wrestled in USWA, winning the Unified title. Then he went to WWE in 1995. That's where he had most of his success as two-time WWE champion, and then back to WCW as WCW World Champion. And he was infamous for breaking his leg in a pay-per-view 2001. And Sid should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I am the man, I am the master, and I'm the ruler of the world. 2 men enter, 1 man survives. Number 6 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, Kane. Kane, the Big Red Machine's been with the WWE for over 20 years. A couple of failed gimmicks like Dr. Isaac Yankem DDS and the fake Big Daddy Cool Diesel. But when he was Kane, Undertaker's brother, in 1997 he made a impactful debut, and Vince McMahon said, "That's gotta be Kane," at the first Hell in a Cell match in 1997, October, at Bad Blood pay-per-view. Kane's been face to heel so many times, won many WWE championships, and he's on his way to the Hall of Fame when he retires. Number 5 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, Big John Studd. Big John Studd was trained by Killer Kowalski. He wrestled in the 1970s in WWE as like a jobber, Chuck O'Connor. Eventually he wrestled under a mask as one of the executioners with Killer Kowalski. They were WWF Tag Team Champions in 1976. Eventually, he became Big John Studd in several regional territories. He's known for feuding with Andre the Giant in the WWE. He claimed was the real giant of professional wrestling. Big John Studd passed away very young at the age of 47 in 1995 of Hodgkin's disease. Number 4 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, Yokozuna, representing Japan, but he was of Samoan descent and related to Arthur and Sika and Rikishi Fatu and The Rock and all of those wrestlers. Yokozuna was over 600 pounds, one of the biggest men ever. Very agile, 2-time WWE champion. He also held the WWE Tag Team Championships with The Rock and Owen Hart. He had legendary feuds with The Undertaker, Bret the Hitman Hart, Vader, and so many others. Yokozuna passed away very young at the age of 34, but his weight caused his demise. When he passed away, there was reports he was well over 800 pounds. Number 3 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, the man they call Vader. Vader was a football player in college. Then he spent some time in the AWA as Leon White, and then in Japan. That's how he got the Big Van Vader character. And in Europe, he made his WCW debut in 1990. He was over 400 pounds. He was managed by Harley Race. Won a few WCW World titles and the US title. He had legendary feuds with Sting and Ric Flair. And when he went to the WWE in 1996, he was big time push. He was slated to get the WWE Championship against Shawn Michaels, but Shawn threw a hissy fit and that killed Vader. Major push. Eventually he became Jobber to the Stars, but he wrestles once in a while. And it's time! It's Vader time! Number 2 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, The Undertaker. The Undertaker's been a legendary wrestler for the WWE since 1990. His real name is Mark Calloway. He started in the World Sports Entertainment in the mid-80s, wrestling World-Class Championship Wrestling under a few gimmicks. And in Memphis, he briefly was in WCW as Mark Callis, part of Skyscrapers, and when he came to the WWE in 1990, he got a character, The Undertaker, which stood the test of time, winning many WWE championships. He was known for being undefeated at WrestleMania until 2014. He should have never ever lost at WrestleMania, and he's going to the WWE Hall of Fame when he retires. And number 1 on this list of the greatest big men in professional wrestling history, the 8th wonder of the world, Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant was a legendary wrestler. He was 7'4", well over 400 pounds. He was from Grenoble in the French Alps in France. He wrestled all over the world, mainly for the WWE. He was one of the biggest faces of all time. Vince McMahon Sr. controlled his bookings, and he would go from territory to territory, usually as an exchange for, like, Andre going to a territory one week. Vince McMahon Sr. in return will get, like, maybe the top heel from that territory to have a run with Bob Backlund or Bruno Sammartino for the WWE Championship in New York. And Andre did not win too many titles because he didn't need a title. He eventually turned heel and won the WWE Championship in 1988, but he sold it to Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And in 1989, he was tag team champions in the WWE with Haku. They were a colossal connection. Andre the Giant passed away at the age of 46 in 1993 because he suffered from agonia, which was a giant disease where people who have that don't live to their age 50. And that's about it on the big man in professional wrestling history, the top 10. Be back later, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google Plus with two more video blogs. First will be about the Old Sports Channel America that lasted from 1979 to 1998, and the third and final video blog of the night, personality profile about legendary Celtics player JoJo White, Pro Basketball Hall of Famer. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Brennan guy. Molly Rose Blood of WCCO Roxanne has nice legs. Elizabeth Hatso so stunning. She's got nice legs as well. Barbara Gibbs of ABC 11 has that sweet southern accent. She's also got nice legs as well. Amy Swenzi is so awesome. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out! Don't forget Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google Plus. Questions, comments, concerns, shout-outs, plugs, send it to me. Will be addressed. Bye for now.